You all have undoubtedly heard about level 94 of the Backrooms. It's one of the most infamous levels in the lore. I've talked about it like 5 times, and it's what I would consider to be a perfect example of a Backrooms level. But what you might not know is that there are some niche areas inside of the level that exist beyond the hills and the houses that I've discussed on the channel. And in today's video, I want to show you all a sub-level known simply as level 94.1, the place where the king never comes. If you enjoy sub-level videos like this, please leave a like for the algorithm. Comment below other sub-levels that you would like me to explore on the channel. With all that said, yes, this is another sub-level 94 video. Who cares? And let's go ahead and hop into the video, and let's see what level 94.1 has to offer, shall we? Level 94.1 does not have a classification given to it because the experience that each person has while visiting the sublevel is going to be vastly different depending on who it is. But you'll know that you're inside of this sublevel when the extremely fake and artificial looking grass and sky of level 94 begin to turn into a more realistic set of textured hills and grasses and clouds. It still won't look perfect, but it will resemble more so of what we would know in real life to be just grassy expanses of hills. The level itself appears as an uncanny expanse of a Windows XP style hillscape and trees and flowers for as far as you can see. Now, rather than level 94's houses that dot the hilltops of that level, you'll notice that here in level 94.1, windmills and small shacks are on top of the hills instead. The windmills are often completely still and unmoving, despite there being a mild breeze blowing through the level constantly. They're very strange to look at, and they seem out of place, but somehow they also fit in. The shacks in the level appear as outbuildings or sheds in design, and they can also be fully explored. Although you're not going to find much in ways of supplies or anything like that inside of a shack or inside of a windmill. The sky of this sub-level is vibrantly blue, with realistic cloud textures floating through it. The clouds also appear to be ones you'd see in real life. They're not glitchy, they're not textured like in the regular level 94. And as I said, this sub-level in general, it has an uncanny realness to it, as if it could exist in our Earth. The grass is real, and it's not fake looking, it doesn't smell like plastic, but it still seems otherworldly. The sky's the same, as well as the textures for the houses. Everything here appears to be crisp and oversaturated, and almost distortedly so. It seems like somebody went into Photoshop and just turned everything up. In the center of the sublevel lies one singular gigantic hill, adorned with a stone tower on its top. The tower could be described as medieval in construction, if you were to say what it looks like, and it almost looks just out of place with the modern windmills and sheds and the trees and stuff that are in the rest of the level. It just appears to be wrong. If you approach the tower and explore the inside of it, you'll see its eerie emptiness. There are tables and chairs that look like they haven't been seen in years. There's floorboards that have dust and windows that haven't seen the light of day, and everything is encased in just this thick layer of dirt and debris, but it too won't have much in the form of supplies. Another thing that sets this sub-level apart from its parent level is that level 94 has roads that connect each location, like it always does, but here in this sub-level, you'll actually have to walk directly through the grass and the hills and the trees and the rivers to get to the various parts. And the entire time you're doing this, a feeling of uneasiness will stay with you. It's not a sense of impending doom, per se, but many do report that they have this feeling like they shouldn't be there, or as if this sub-level is kind of a secret place that is normally not allowed to be explored. The ambience inside of this place is very quiet. There's this echo of the cartoonish music that can be heard on level 94. You can just barely hear it here. There's no speakers or anything that can point to an obvious location for its origination, but you can definitely hear it while you're walking around the hills. This place also has a stark lack of shadows from its structures, which kind of adds to that uncanniness. Even though there's a sun shining right above you in the sky, the buildings, the windmills, the shacks, the tower, whatever it is, none of them produce shadows behind them where they normally would be. They just sit still, basked in light. Speaking of which, the level has also never been seen without the sun. It doesn't get dark here and there's no day-night cycle. Rather, it's always sunny and it's always bright and it's always warm. All things considered, this sublevel is a significantly safer place than the original hills of level 94. Because there, once nighttime falls, these entities will start to roam the streets and the buildings, and you have to hide inside of a house and hunker down just so you don't get eaten alive. But here, there's none of that. This is a safe place. Even though it feels off, even though it feels strange that you're here, kind of like the eye of the storm of a hurricane, nothing really can go wrong. That being said though, there still remains some off-putting nature about this sublevel. It's that same unnerving feeling that liminal space photographs provide to anybody that looks at them. That feeling you get when you look at those pictures is the entire thing you'll feel when you come to this level. It's all you'll feel. Like you're between worlds, walking through the hills and the trees and the flowers and everything else here. It feels like an out-of-body experience, almost like you're hallucinating, but you're not. Maybe this is what level 94 once was, before its degradation by the Backrooms complex. We know that the Backrooms takes levels and it copies them over and over and over again, and it destroys them and makes them look less real. Maybe this sublevel is what 94 once was. It had realistic grass, houses, and flowers and skies, and it eventually just became what it is now, just a copy of itself. The oddities don't stop there though, with shadows and strange ambiances. As I mentioned earlier, in the middle of the level where the tower is located, something exists inside of the tower that I just can't not discuss. If you recall, inside of level 94, the main level, there is a translucent mountain with a large, opaque, white castle on top of it. This castle is a very strange kind of jungle of weird-looking layouts, strange corridors, and is also the residence of the animated king. If you want all the lore of the animated king, I suggest that you go watch my video on level 94. I explain it all in detail over there. But here in this sublevel, in this specific tower, another strange and forgotten creature lives. But it's one that hasn't seen the light of day in decades. In the top of that tower, an ungainly, shadowy figure calls this place home. He is a self-proclaimed wizard, like the one from level 94, but this entity doesn't seem to have the same level of power as the other one. And he's kind of difficult to describe because the page is written in a narrative format, so I'm just gonna read exactly what it says, which is as follows. There were chairs and tables and a staircase that led to the top of the tower. It was pitch black besides the faint light emitting from a singular window, so I made use of my flashlight. Suddenly, a being with a red sheet covering their entire body appeared in front of me from the darkness. Their black hand was visible as it emerged from the canvas. Fear set in as it slowly approached. I backed away as quickly as it advanced. Eventually, they halted. "Good morning," they said. As surprised as I was, I had the wherewithal to switch on my voice recorder. "Who are you and why are you here? You are not the first nor last human to ask me this question. I'm a wizard, just like the ones in the books that you humans write." "A wizard? How do you know that we write it in our books? I've never heard the word wizard." "Oh, it's because you are backborn. People that come from Earth would understand." "How do you know that much?" "I can read others' minds. Knowledge feeds me as food feeds you, though I don't consume it, so don't worry. I know you have many questions, so allow me to answer them for you. Why does the king avoid this place?" That is a long story, but I will do my best to keep it concise. Several years ago, I was created by the king as an animation. The difference being that he granted me the gift of free will and other magical abilities. I was supposed to help him rule the kingdom. At first, I enjoyed my role, but I had one grievance. Other animations didn't have the free will like I did. And what does it mean to rule when everyone is forced to agree with you? I proposed this to the king, but he didn't like it, so he tried to kill me for even asking about it. That's when we started to fight. Initially, neither of us had the upper hand. I realized he had given me the same powers he possessed, so we were evenly matched. I flew away from the castle because I was scared to lose, and the king did not follow. But as I left, he shouted that I was exiled. I arrived here in this autumnal land and decided to give the animations free will. However, to my surprise, they want the king to come back. That will never happen as long as I am here, though. I want to show them that they have no need for him, that they can be independent. However, despite my efforts, they cover their ears. The king never comes here because he's scared of me, and I never leave here because I'm scared of him. Why can't you just let them be with the king and go to another level? Your powers could be of use to people in need. Lady, if I were to leave this kingdom, I would disappear, to put it mildly. Okay, I understand. One more question. Can I stay here for a little while? Yes. Yes, of course. So that was a little kind of cringy dialogue that was written between a wanderer and this wizard. It sounds weird and it sounds odd and a little bit bit outlandish, you'd be correct in thinking that, but it does give us some insight as to what this entity is, and it's kind of weird. The wizard is some sort of equal creation from the animated king that originally was supposed to kind of help him rule, but as you heard in the story, it didn't work out very well, and this wizard wanted the animation entities to have free will. It's pretty much just the plot of Wicked. If you've ever seen Wicked, the movies, that's literally what this is. But beyond that, this sub-level is a sort of oasis amongst the endless hills and valleys of level 94. It's a place where you don't have to worry about the things in the night or the effects that the level gives you. It thrives on this emptiness and this liminality, and it's very peaceful. And in fact, it's so peaceful that it remains a sort of safe haven throughout the Backrooms lore, one that people kind of seek out to enter, almost like the Promised Land was many years ago, if you remember that. There are no listed entrances or exits to or from this sub-level, because so very few people have actually made it here, but I assume you just have to wander through level 94 for long enough. Eventually you'll reach these hills and you'll know you're here when you see the images you've seen today, or maybe not, whatever it is, it's here. Level 94.1 remains shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Does it truly exist? Is it a safe haven? Is it this liminal paradise that it's claimed to be? We just don't know. And as far as I'm concerned, we'll never actually know. It just seems like a pretty cool level though. Let me know in the comments if you would survive this place, or if you want to go there, if you find it interesting. While you're down there, leave a like on the video. That way I can know that I should cover more levels like this. With that said, I'll see you in the next video as we continue to explore the Backrooms and its levels. Hope you all had a great day, and I'll see you then.